Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Kurt on Cougs. Also, I guess this is first one of 2025. So that's pretty exciting. Or wait, no, I did one last week. Okay, second one of 2025. Still super excited. In this video, I'm gonna be previewing the entire week, all 2 games for BYU men's basketball. Kind of the reason I'm doing it this way is because BYU women's basketball starts the week tomorrow against Houston, and so I figured just to make sure I don't have one big long video, I was gonna split it into 2 parts. Tomorrow I will preview the BYU women basketball, their games coming up. But the men play tonight against Texas Tech, and then Saturday against TCU. And these are 2 very interesting games. Just looking at a comparison between the 2, I saw someone comment, I think it was on Twitter somewhere, that although Texas Tech, I believe they're like number 14 or something, they're one of the top 20 net teams in the nation, or maybe it's net or KenPom, one of those. And TCU is about like 50 or so places behind them, and yet these 2 games are both seen by most metrics as a 50-50-ish type game. So pretty crazy. Big comparison in teams. And yeah, but I guess that just really shows the home advantage you see here in the Big 12. Like for me, I am actually so glad that BYU is playing tonight's game at home. Yeah, playing on the road, always tough. Good to be home, especially after a tough road loss to Houston. And then at TCU, never going to be easy either. Now, still though, despite that, all that, which games at home, which games on the road, definitely the game I am more concerned about is tonight against Texas Tech. For one thing, this is probably a better chance to build your resume, as well as just overall a tougher game. And let me go into that real quick. So, for one thing, of course, there's that net ranking, but the thing that really stood out to me in between these teams was their offenses. Both allow pretty similar averages on defense, but the Texas Tech offense averages about 86 points a game, while TCU's averages about 67. Yeah, so big difference there. And so personally, I think the Cougars, they're going to have an overall rebound week. I feel like regardless of what happens tonight, I expect them to win against TCU, and I think there's still a pretty decent chance they win both games this week. And if they win both, I believe that would give them a quad 1 and a quad 2, which would be awesome. Of course, would definitely boost the resume. Currently, they are in Joe Lunardi's bracketology. They are one of the next 4 out, in my opinion. 2 wins this week, and there's a decent chance they are sneaking into the last 4 in, or at least the last 4 out. So I think that they're really well set this week if they can just win those couple games. And so now for some deciding factors for both of these games. And once again, I'm still kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to do everything. I'm busy with college and stuff, and so don't know exactly how often I'll be able to make videos. One thing I will be trying to do more is I will be trying to post post-game analyses on Twitter after games happen. Sorry, on X, formerly Twitter. So if any of you follow me on there, you can see them there. As well, you can probably find me on there. I think I put the link in one of the past videos. But yeah, so like I was saying before I started rambling, explaining, here are my deciding factors for this week. And these 2 things are basically just things I think could be fixed after the game against Houston on Saturday. And there'll be important things to do as the Cougars try to bounce back. Number 1 is just limiting turnovers. Yeah, of course, turnovers are going to happen in every game. It's a very rare game, honestly, for most teams to not even be in the double digits in turnovers. But just overall, holding on to the ball, making smart plays, doing that really allows your offense to get rolling and not to give the other team a big advantage. And so that's number 1. And then number 2, I think it's going to be really important to keep up with good shot selection. I know BYU has some players that have been pretty cold recently. Jaeger Demon is one that comes to mind. He's been having a tough time shooting for the past couple weeks, and Saturday wasn't the greatest shooting day for BYU basketball. And so overall, I feel like one thing that I've seen teams do that really helps them break out of a shooting slump is just good shot selection, picking the right shots, passing up good shots for better shots. Because when you do that, you give yourself the best chance possible to make those shots and to get out of a slump. If you can just give yourself good opportunity after good opportunity, eventually they're going to start falling and you can get back into rhythm. So I think that's going to be really important for BYU to do. And so, yeah, those two things, good shot selection and limiting turnovers. If the Cougars do those two things, I could see them coming out this week 2-0. Okay, and so now for my predictions. First of all, my bold prediction for the week is I think we will see 2 double-doubles this week from BYU players. I don't know if we've seen any yet this season, so I feel pretty bold picking that. Whether that's points and assists, points and rebounds, assists and rebounds, I'm calling it 2 double-doubles this week. And then my pick for each game, I think tonight's game against Texas Tech is tough, but I think the team has the motivation after a tough loss at Houston. I think they bounce back. This is a high-scoring game with BYU winning it by a score of 83-81. And then on Saturday against TCU, first of all, just to preface this, in my opinion, the only way that TCU realistically wins this game, they need this to be a low-scoring battle. And ultimately, I don't see that happening. I think the BYU has the firepower. They can beat TCU's defense, and I don't think in the end TCU will be able to keep up. I think BYU wins this one, and somewhat comfortably even. I think they win this one by a final score of something like 72-62. So yeah, I'm calling it. Cougars going 2-0 this week. I'll be back tomorrow to preview BYU women's basketball and their week. And so yeah, see you then. Go Cougs.